Epistle of Emperor Alexander. Some recently say that the art is derived from the exhaustion of man, in which all things are contained. Just as the microcosm is composed and created from the four distinct forces, so too is this art, proven and established from the natures of the woman, of which we wish to recount a few briefly. If the great world is created or composed of four distinct and assembled forces of nature, of which the first is the desiring, the second the repelling or consuming, the third the attracting, and the fourth the expelling, which is the purifying. The fifth is a foreign or different force, namely life, which joins these four forces together, which I have named and described, and indicated their order. And it is like a key to a chest. When you unlock it with this, it is opened, for it is like a vessel composed of walls joined from doves, which hold something within. This art is not accomplished otherwise than by the watchful and diligent, and through their moderation. For, as I said before, its operation begins from the four working forces, namely the desiring, the retaining, the retained, the repelling or consuming, and the expelling, which purifies. The fifth is namely the noble, the clearest soul from the light. Now we wish to recount the disposition of these parts or forms, therefore we will explain these and their powers, and we will say which is warm, cold, male, and which is female, so that we do not stray by various colors and differences of their sex. For if there is a difference between the warm and the cold, and the male and the female, the work will in no way be accomplished unless it be directed on the right path. And you should know that no one is born except from a man and a woman, and no fruit grows except through moisture and warmth. Therefore, it is fitting that we explain the force. For the desiring forces are dry and male, and are warm and dry, and are fire. The retaining or self-holding are also male, and are cold and dry, and are earth. The purifying are the repelling, namely, those that transform, are female, and are warm and moist, and are air. The expelling, however, are female, and are cold and moist, and are water. But the fifth is life, which I say is of itself, neither warm nor moist, nor cold nor dry, neither male nor female. Therefore, so that you do not err in the work, if you were to seek it in flowing waters or streams, I will show you this place. And thus, when you wish to seek the power of cold water, coagulate it more firmly. And when you wish to make water cold, you may well warm it more firmly. If you then improve the nature of each power, according to what you are working, you will oversee the work. Thus, if the desiring forces are dry and with colors, that is male, they are warm and dry, as said above, which fix the color, so that it is not separated or changed. The retaining, however, are female and dry, which gather the color in the bodies, and soften the bodies, and reduce the colors. But the repelling purifying is male, which purifies the rest of the body, and separates the corrupting nature from within, and is warm and moist, and is air. The expelling, which purifies, is male, expels the earth from it, until it has neither been separated nor divided, as the defect in the body has been processed. Thus the art also gathers the same and their natures, and composes them together. It is cold and moist, and is water. But the true power, which permeates the entire body, is as much as a spirit of the body. Now, however, I will name for you their forms with their names and woods, for many have practiced in many parts of this, and have seen useful things among them, and neglected the useful. Some, however, have closely imitated the right path, as we commanded, but have broken off from it and worked according to their own opinion, and thus the work has been ruined and turned to stone. I truly add for you to know that you should begin your work as I have commanded you. It is now the matter that you desire to accomplish it, and you must know that you are working nothing other than the things that are of a light nature, from which the microcosm is created, which I will name for you with their properties. You should know that sulfur is the fire, and magnesia is the earth, and sedum is the air, and mercury is the water, which flows through the body, and the spirit is the fruitful water, from which all things are nourished, and each fruit grows and increases, and each one rises, and brings all fruits with it. Therefore, if you want to accomplish your work and achieve that which you seek in the best way, then take these two natures, namely the man and the woman, the warm and the cold, the moist and the dry, then nourish them with the living water, which has light and spirit, and prepare the work evenly with a fixed essence and composition, and of the same substance from which it is composed. For it is cast and composed from various natures. From melancholy comes the body and its size, and fire is added to it, which is of the red color, and then the exhalation, which comes from the stomach, and is a matured water in the liver, to which is added a flowing blood in all the veins of the body, whose heat gains dominance until it is transformed into a red color. The water, however, which is a phlegm, is placed in the chest, and shows itself much in cold convulsions. Thereafter, through divine power, a natural body is formed from these things I have named to you. Combine these natures, and let them rest very well, and set each into its house, and mix them evenly, read the work divide, so that your intent may succeed and your work be accomplished, as I have granted you by grace, since I have instructed you how many parts there are that work orderly by degrees, until they become one body and one spirit. Then the art joins together, so that the nature is transformed, and converted into another nature, guided by nature, and thereafter from incidental forces unite the two natures with constancy. As I said before, they draw together, so that they become light and clear, from which it ascends, or separates and dissolves, thereupon raise it quickly, so that it colors. And you should know that I have written this my book to no one else but to the philosophers and lovers of wisdom, in which I have clearly described the disposition of the natures, in their parts or distinct formed natures, and have indicated their number. You must guard well the work or the things which must be made soft and flowing, and with that you shall work, so that you do not overstep the right time. For all the hidden things will then become revealed. For the softening is a transformation of all natures. Therefore you should know that they are mixed from one nature into another, until they come into their substances, and I, being cautious, will not join nor break apart such things from which they are forced, and the fewer parts are seen. And then you should know that one nature is awakened by the other, whatever remains present of these natures, that make soft and flowing, then prepare or make ready the hidden things which are tempered or moderated. For it is the case that if you make the natures delicate or thin and into a water, they may not color. Therefore, you must moisten the body through watering. For the philosophers call this water a water of wisdom, and you should also know that wisdom is in the union, and that the parts or species are the soul, and one part passes through the other, and into a vessel, that you make these species or parts soft and flowing, and then coagulate them, so your work will appear very secure. If you wish to accomplish your work, then see that you do not add to it raw species unpurified, unless you first prepare them and make them suitable. Thereafter you shall distill the prepared species, and cause them to rise above themselves and flow beneath themselves. This process I will describe to you clearly, so that you may come to the end of your work through a just path or way. And yet you should also know that from the bodies, some require dissolution, others elevation, so that they may color and shine and be illuminated, and that all metals may be dissolved. And know that it is not from nature, but that the secrets are hidden within them. It is the case that they are revealed by the hidden nature. Then the things shall appear that appeared to the philosopher Hermes, and a white earth, properly silver, per cockfer. Therefore prepare the bodies so that, as it is a white earth, they may remain constant. Set it so that the flames of fire do not burn it, but rather make it soft and flowing like melting wax. But that which one calls a small instrument or apparatus, water, is understood in your arts, in which you apply yourself diligently. There shall also be one in the senses or one gold, that of the moon or silver, and accordingly to these inner things, there are also twofold orders, to perceive sharply with the eyes and the heart. See now, I have told you, and revealed the heavenly hidden thing, and I have explained the difficult and secret art, and I have clearly expressed the correct paths and ways to govern the art. And therefore I write that I have withheld nothing, nor changed the place of the elements, so take careful note of what I have written, and you shall come to that which I have described. An example or similitude of our art. An old man lies until death, in whom the natures are perfectly joined and united. Earth, water, his fire, and the air. And all these are in lead. With this, the gates of the arts are opened. As Hermes and his forebears have said, take the stone that is hung over the sea, like old white wax, a child of Hypocystidose. His name is Victor, in German, a conqueror. With it, kill the living. And revive the slain things. It holds both life and death. This and that, from east and west. With it you shall possess the art. In which the Arabs become slothful and blinded. I have told you the truth. With the Creator is the stone of paradise. The light of life. In it the four elements are united. Namely, fire and water. This one enlivens that. And that one kills this. And both are joined in the lion. With whom is both life and death. I don't lie. I have told you the truth. Our gum coagulates our milk. And our milk dissolves our gum. And afterward, a quadruplicity of sweetness and blood stripes will appear. This stone is found pure and without shame. In the most exalted places or regions. With which the philosophers have made themselves great above all others. And prophesied things to come. I have told the truth. By the power of the heavens. I have not misled you in the end. Our old man is our dragon. He sits with his head and with his tail. And the head and the tail are the soul and the spirit. And the soul and the spirit are made from one flax seed. This and that, from rising and setting. In the ascent of harmful things. I don't lie. For what I said. I saw in a city. Make your navel white. If you would make him white. He will first become white with the Nile from Egypt. And afterward Persia in secrecy. And with this and that. A redness will appear. Like a magnuma in the desert. By God, who gives life to all creatures. I don't lie. Our water washes away impurity. You are all his weakness and powers of the senses. Who has washed me? He who has seen it, he who said it laughing. And I have told the truth, and do not lie. The earth in the eyes is the rising and setting. And above them white Saturn or lead has risen and called. And these three parts are the fire. I have told you the truth. I will now reveal what the ancients have hidden. Our earth, which the Egyptians first called copper, then silver, and lastly gold. And so you shall have the art. Because of which the Arabs have become sluggish. You blacken with our Egypt and not with Persia. And dry with the Persia. For it is a house of dryness. And with Egypt you make moisture. For it is a house of moisture. And this and that, a white and a red. Without mixture, like the redness of the mulberry. Or like the blood of noble women. The stone of our art is at first an old man. And at last a child. Then its whiteness is at the beginning. And the redness at the end. This is the stone to which all have clung. Those who died from it, many with pain and sorrow. For they left the path of wisdom. And turned to the path of evil. The horse's covering is our white pure garment. And our horse is a strong lion. Hidden under the overcoat. And over this and that is our spirit. Which has a dual nature within it. This stone is three-sided or triangular in its essence. And square or fourfold in its quality. I have told the truth, by the master worker who knows and speaks all things. These are not single or separate things. But mixed things, rising and setting combined. Of all their souls. He joins and separates at will and joins again. Our stag is found in the rising. And the dog in the setting. This one has begged the other. And they both become furious and kill each other. Until from them a poison and a triace is formed. Our white camelester is the seventh. In number among the other planets. The Sun with the Moon, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. Our Venus in our Mercury. And Saturn the seventh among them. In which all are joined together. This is a sword and a knife. And a cutting tool for the building. And the present enemy. And a barrel with the assistance of wine. Our bishop or overseer, like the color of veins or violet. And the yellow soul of the narcissus or hypocystidose. And then the stone in a swiftly melting casting. Dead among all creatures. I do not lie. Our temple or example with the white of nature. The fire and the light. In the essence and being of clarity. The joy that is light is our spark. And our glowing flame. And I am the water springs, not the iron of the rock. And you will find the art. I have told the truth, by the one who unites all things. Our guide is our rising from the slimy earth. And the slimy earth is our glue and wax or plaster. Made from wax and tallow. And this and that is our ship in our sea, full of flow. I have revealed what our ancestors kept hidden. I am not jealous as they have been. I do not lie by the one who illuminates all things. The earth set before our eyes. The rising and setting. And this and that Narcissus with our Gilgan. And this and that with our age. And our age and our sleep is our body. And our body is our stone. Sought by many, but found by very few. And this I have explained and revealed with moderation. By the blossoming God, Amen. Once upon a time, a king prepared for war and wanted to overcome other powerful ones, and as he sat well on his horse, he ordered one of his servants to give him to drink from the water he loved. The servant said to him, Lord, which is this water you love? The king said, It is the water that I have, which I love more than all others. The servant soon noticed it and brought it to him. The king drank, and drank until all his limbs and all his veins were filled, then the king was almost exhausted. Then the warriors said, Look at the horse, stand up. The king answered, I do not want to. The warriors said, Why don't you want to? He answered, I feel burdened, my head hurts, and I feel as if all my limbs are leaving me. I ask and desire that you place me in my back chamber, in a warm and temperate place, so that I may sweat, and the water I have drunk will come out, and I will be healed and become healthy. This happened as he ordered. Afterward, they opened it and found him already dead, but his parents sent for the Egyptians, and those from Alexandria, famous above all others, and brought them to him, and told them the whole affair of the king, and said, Do you think that he can be healed from this fearful distress? They all answered, Yes, and further asked, Who among you is the master? The Alexandrians replied, As you wish. And the Egyptians said, Truly, we want to be the masters in this matter, because we are older, although we seem younger than old. The Alexandrians answered, That pleases us well. Then the mentioned masters took him and divided him into the smallest parts, and ground him with their pungent medicines, and placed him and ground his chamber in a warm and moist place. His nostrils gave their moisture to one another for a day and a night. Then they pulled him out like a dead man, who still had some voice. Then his parents all cried out, Alas, alas, he is dead. But the doctors said, He is not dead, but he is sleeping, and has not yet awakened. They took him again and washed him with a sweet water until the taste of the medicine had passed, and laid him down with as much of the vain medicine, and did to him as before, and when they took him out, they found him beautiful and dead. Then the parents said, Truly now you have killed the king, although you were said to be such good masters. No, we have killed him so that he may be better and stronger on the day of judgment itself. Then the parents thought they were deceivers, took away their medicine, and chased them away. But the Alexandrian masters promised to give him back to them again. Then they began to laugh mockingly and said, You want to deceive us, as the others have deceived us, therefore know without doubt that you will not escape our hands as the others have. The masters answered, Let us rebel, kill us also if we do not do as we have said. Then the Alexandrian masters took the king's body, and washed and cleansed it very well until nothing of the other's medicine remained. Afterward, they dried it off, took a part of the limb, and that part of the Alexandrian glass, and mixed it with a little glue oil into a dough, and put it on the dead body, and laid him in a triangular chamber, like a melting crucible, and let him remain for an hour in moderate heat, and afterward covered him with fire, and stayed as long as he was there, and through a hole looked into another vessel. Then the king stood up crowned with a royal crown, and began to shout, "Who are the strangers? Let them know that I will give them all to death, unless they obey me." When they heard this, they fell before his heart, crying, "Whatever you want, we will do immediately." Then the mighty kings were saved from that hour on, and whenever they wanted to see some of his wonders, they made 2 lines of mercury, in a melting crucible, and laid upon it a little sprig of millet the size of a claw, or hair, or of his blood, and blew until it became thick, then covered it with coals, and let it preserve, and found such a body, as I well know. Printed in Eilben, by Jacob Glaubisch. Published by Jacob Apel, bookseller in Leipzig. Year 1608.